cross-country wanderings, and welcome to another one in my railway series. Today I'm in Exeter in Devon, so welcome also to one of my Devon series, and we're going to have a look at Exeter's newest railway station. About 3 months ago I was in Bristol and we had a look at Bristol's newest railway station, which actually didn't open until the 1st of August. If you want to have a look at that one, check that one out. And that was, of course, the Portway Park and Ride near an existing station called Shirehampton. But I'm here at Exeter St David's. Now I can't remember all of Exeter's stations because it has many. Now Plymouth, which is also in Devon, is a large city, about 265,000 people that live there, and I think it's only got 5 or 6 stations. Exeter, I'm sure we're now up to 12 or 13 perhaps. We'll count and put a figure in below. The main station here is at Exeter St David's. You also have another main station in Exeter Central, which is right in the city centre. Anyway, I'm going to grab a cup of tea at the buffet here and wait for the train to the station, which is called Marsh Barton. I managed to get my cup of tea. There we go. It's a bit difficult vlogging and holding cups of tea, but I need a sip. I didn't manage to get one on the train, so I've caught the train down here from Gloucestershire, where I live in Gloucestershire today. Oh, it's gone really bright. I'm hoping to do 3 videos today, so if you haven't already subscribed, then hit the bell, then YouTube will tell you what those videos are. One of them is very close to the location where we're going to. Just to explain a little bit about where Marsh Barton is. Well, it's only 1 stop away from Exeter St David's, and it sits on the lines that are served by the Riviera line trains, and also the Riverside line. What lines are those? Well, basically it's the trains that go between Paignton and Exmouth. Now they run every 30 minutes, but be warned, the Marsh Barton station is only serviced once an hour, whereas the trains between Exmouth and Paignton go every 30 minutes. So you need to check that the train leaving for Paignton, and that's where it comes from here to get to Marsh Barton, is going to stop at Marsh Barton, because they only go once an hour, apart from the peak, i.e. between, I think, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the morning, and between 5 and 6, where there's an additional train in both directions. Now I've managed to get a seat here, which is great. Just on the opposite side of the platform, though, is the Exeter Depot, GWR service depot. And next to that is a GWR offices and also Network Rail offices. Exeter St David's, really busy station here, and trains go in all directions. Train just leaving through Manchester Piccadilly, also ones heading down to Plymouth, Penzance, Paignton, Oakhampton and Exmouth, as also Barnstable. So we're now on platform 3B, waiting for the 11:29 to Paignton, which is obviously on the Riviera line. Marsh Barton is the next stop, so it'll only take us just a few minutes to get there.
Great Western Railway service to Paignton, calling at Exeter St Thomas, Marsh Barton, Starburst.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Change here for local buses from Cowick Street. E-bike hire is available at street level.
So here we are at Marsh Barton station. You're probably thinking, as you saw the bit of clip of footage I shot through the window of the train there, why do they want a station here? Because it doesn't seem to be surrounded by buildings. Oh, before I go on, I need to add a correction. It's the second stop out of Exeter St David's, because I forgot about Exeter St Thomas, and actually quite a few people got on at St Thomas. And when I was listening to the tannoy on board the train, they actually said you can hire e-bikes from street level Exeter St Thomas to get around the city, which is great. Exeter St Thomas is above the road. St Thomas Road, or St Thomas part of Exeter, has its own distinct high street as well, so it's good to see that used. I think about 12-14 people got off here, and about probably about half a dozen got on, so here we are. There it is, Marsh Barton. As you can see underneath the sign there, it's the gateway to the Riverside Valley Park, and that's kind of why I've come here, to show you that if you live in this part of Devon, this is a really convenient station to get off at if you want to enjoy some countryside and scenery. But on the opposite side of the platform though, yes, not so scenic, it's Devon's newest incinerator. That's not the reason that this station was built though, because the other side of the incinerator is a huge industrial estate, the Marsh Barton Industrial Estate, and it provides enormous employment opportunities for the people of Exeter and this part of Devon. And so rather than getting people to go into Marsh Barton Estate over there by car, the reason this station was opened to provide a service for commuters going into and out of that industrial estate, as well as, of course, as leisure travel for people using the Riverside Park. So let's have a quick look around the station here at Marsh Barton. What facilities have we got here at Marsh Barton Station? We've got departure signs there, electronic departure signs. We've also got old school paper train timetables, and I say it's a clock face, 7:24, 8:24, so it's a regular hourly service, apart from those additional trains in the rush hour in the morning and evening peak. Now, as a standard with all new stations these days, it is wheelchair friendly, so we have all these level, rather tilted, no step access, so step-free access onto both platform 1 and 2 here, which is great to see. Also got these grids, which are for people to aid their route into and out of the railway station. The key thing that this station doesn't have though is parking. It's not a park and ride. It's for people primarily using it to access nature if they live in the city or surrounding areas, making their way completely through by rail, and also commuting into the industrial estate. So there is no parking provided. There are just a couple of bays here for disabled, for drop-on, drop-off, and also for GWR employees, but nothing else. There's no other long-term or even short-term parking whatsoever. So please be mindful of that if you're deciding to come here, or indeed visit it, or just having a look following this video. These great signs here telling you about the Riverside Valley Park, so you can't mistake the likes of what you have here. You have a footbridge, which again is sloping, so there's no steps, which takes you to the opposite platform, which will be the Exeter, returning back to Exeter platform. And it has got a screening over it, obviously for safety reasons, but also because of just visibility as well. So now just approaching platform 2, just been told fast train approach. This is a very busy line, of course. This is the main line between Bristol, Exeter, Plymouth and Penzance, as well as down to Torquay and Paynton. So it's an incredibly busy line. It's just 2 tracks, but there's trains going through probably every 3 or 4 minutes here, because it's a very frequent service. But as I say, from this station, this new station, it's only once every hour, so just check that if you're coming to this. Now, I'm not sure at the bridge, there's a train just about to go through now, if this bridge here replaced a previous bridge or whether it's just a new facility. I'm not sure about that, so if you're local to this area, please let me know whether this bridge is new or whether it replaced an existing one, because if it's new, it also means it's now providing facility for people that live in and around the Marsh Barton area to get to the Riverside Park. There is, though, a road bridge just behind it, but that looks like it is rather narrow. In terms of facilities here, we have a ticket machine. We also have a help point as well. And remember when I did that Portway video, I went to Avonmouth, was it St Andrews Road, and it just kept repeating itself. I haven't tried it yet because there's a few people around. I don't want to press it just for the sake of the video, but hopefully that is working, so you get some information there. But you've also got the information boards telling you the time of the next train. So yes, everything clean and bright. It's got lights as well. I haven't checked if there's a litter bin. I haven't seen a litter bin. It's a certain YouTuber that does that, doesn't there, I believe. But yeah, so everything's pleased. So you've got the platforms here, so they've got the raised platforms there for people that are partially sighted, which is also good to see. What I'm going to do now is head back over that footbridge, and then we'll have a quick look at Exeter Riverside Valley Country Park. Before I do that, I've just spotted something which is really, really interesting. There appears to be a hidden gate. Well, it's not hidden. You can see it in plain sight. It is locked. Now, I do think that's not for GWR staff. I think that's for the employees of the incinerator. So perhaps they have their own key. They're provided with their own key. So if they want to commute to work here at the incinerator site, they can get off the train, get through the other way to get onto the train and use that gate right next to the station. That's a really useful facility. Another useful facility here, they have got bike rack parking with, just spotted this, which is really, really good to see. Oh, another information board there behind me here. Platform 2, so we have got security cameras there as well. So if you want to leave your bike here, that's really good to have that CCTV in place. Anyway, we will now head down to the country park. Number of bodies work together on this, not only GWR but also I'm not sure what to call them, Exeter City Futures. I'm not sure whether they're a charity, a local government body or what, but they're looking after the green spaces, as well as the Devon Wildlife Trust. It's good to see that they've landscaped this really, really well. I'll show you exactly what I mean by that, because as you come out the front of the station or down that ramp coming off the footbridge, we have this here, which is good to see. So yes, all along there we've got some wildflower beds, and also on this side here they've planted some new trees. Obviously they had access to get into the land to landscape it, to build the railway station, the platforms, etc. They've still got some outer fencing on that side, temporary fencing there, but yeah, it's all been well landscaped, and new trees have been planted here as well, which is good to see. So we're making our way across now. Now I see that there is a car park on the opposite side. It's not a GWR car park. This is for people that are using the Riverside Park, I do believe. We'll investigate further. Now walking beside the Exeter Ship Canal. Now I'm going to do a separate video about this shortly, so if you want to watch that one, if you subscribe, or just go onto my channel and you'll see a separate video for the Exeter Ship Canal. So I'm going to film that before and make another video here today as well. But the Riverside Park is actually on the other side of this bridge that's now appearing on your screens behind me, which is a swing bridge. Gives road access well down to that way and crosses over the railway on the other bridge that we saw that runs parallel to the footbridge. The benefit of walking down this particular towpath is that there are no cycles allowed, so hopefully I won't get knocked off by a bike walking down this towpath. So you've got one towpath on that side, which is kind of the one that's closest to Exmouth, bordering the River Exe, which is cycle friendly, but this one it isn't, so it's just for footpath, which is great if you just want a casual walk and you don't have to keep moving out of your way of cycles. Not that I'm knocking cycling, it's a brilliant thing to do. Excellent along here. So we've got this wonderful green lung on the edge of Exeter, and it takes just 5 minutes from Exeter St David's. Also to note that that train that I got off of went through Exeter Central, so you can literally get on the train in the city centre. So you're talking about a total journey time from the city centre of Exeter around about 7 to 8 minutes, bringing you here by the canal. Wonderful. In the Riverside Valley Park's a handy sign there provided by the Devon Wildlife Trust. You might be able to hear cows behind me because there's some cows grazing both on that, there they go, and underneath the trees here as you go through the stile. But this is just wonderful this. So this is Just 7 minutes train ride and about 5 minutes walk from Exeter city centre. You're right in the countryside, well, deep in the countryside, but you're certainly in a very, very pleasant bit of public green space, a lot busier than normal public parks and city centres. It's good to see people out and about enjoying themselves. So it is August, it is pretty busy. There was lots of people coming and going at Exeter St David's too, lots of the southwest holiday destinations there. And of course the children are off as well, so people are doing day trips, probably rather than going abroad. But I hope you have enjoyed this shorter railway series one today, showing you Devon and Exeter's latest railway station, and it's really good to see new railway stations opening up. I know it's a slow process because they have to go through lots of planning and it seems to drag on forever and ever. This one's been talked about for a while. There are other railway stations being talked about in Devon, and I think there's one at a place called Edginswell, which is in Torquay, or rather Torbay, and that would be really good to serve the nearby out-of-town shopping centre and also Torbay Hospital, which is one of the biggest hospitals in the southwest. It'll be quite close to that. I got knocked on Facebook the other day saying, why is it needed? Because you can just drive there, and I'm thinking, well, not everyone has a car, not everyone wants to drive by car. I'm thinking if you can get to hospital by train rather than driving there, I think so much the better. Obviously, certain people will need to still get to a hospital by car, but it gives you options and it will reduce the amount of people travelling by car overall. So hopefully Edginswell will go ahead. And if that does, I will bring you that here on West Country Wanderings. But that's it for today here on West Country Wanderings. If you like this sort of thing to do with railways, I cover not only new stations, I also look at lost railway walks. I'll be doing another one of those shortly, where I walk along a section of an old railway route. I also visit heritage lines as well, so have a look at my railway playlist, which will be popping up on the screen around about now. That's all for now. Take care. Bye-bye.